We're live. Let's give 2 minutes or 3 minutes for other people to join us. Yes, and then we are going to kickstart the show. Hi, guys. We can see you. Thank you for joining in. We're just giving like 2 minutes for other people to join in. All our guests are in the studio. Discussion about the journey of women in politics across the African continent. So I'm looking forward to a great conversation. Okay, I think we should start the show now. Thank you once again for joining us. On the studio with us today, we have our guest. We have Epiphany from Rwanda. Maybe Epiphany, you'll also tell me how to pronounce your name as we go on with the show. We also have Jemima Kutata, and we have Winfred Asiko, and they will be telling us more about who they are. These are phenomenal women. And guys, we are super, super excited because this is the first episode of Sauti Yangu. Sauti Yangu is the Swahili phrase that means my voice. And of course, we all know that the voice of women has been ignored for a long time. So we are very happy to be giving women a platform to tell their story because women are making a very big contribution in the African space, talking about economic development, socioeconomic development, and also in politics. And today, we are going to be discussing the topic of how women are making very good influence when it comes to politics and what are the opportunities available for them, what challenges are they facing, and how can they actually be able to leverage and become better in that space. And to kickstart this conversation, I want to invite our guest Epiphany from Rwanda to introduce herself. So you'll introduce yourself and tell us what you usually do on a day-to-day basis. Welcome, Epiphany.
Thank you very much. Uh, Thank you for welcoming me on board. Thank you, Rachel, and the rest of the guests. My name is Epiphanity Senge. I'm Rwandan by nationality, but also I live in Rwanda, and I'm a youth activist, and I am a former ambassador and the country coordinator of the East Africa community. You read the Samti in Rwanda, and yeah, I work in a sector of marketing and communications. Thank you. It's
Thank
really
you.
a pleasure and honor to be here.
And maybe Epiphany, you can also tell us what do you do when it comes to politics? Maybe that's something you can also add in your introduction. Yes.
Uh, all I do in politics, I do by empowering young people out there. You know, so for today, like when we say about women, they are still think that to take over those position leadership is for their brothers. So but for me, all I do is to empower them that they are able to take over those positions that they think they are for brothers, not for theirs. So when you empower people, you especially young women, you empower a whole nation. And it's really amazing when you have the common understanding for women and men to to that level of the politics, because I think women they are the key in they are the key who play a big role in developing of their countries, as you know. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Epiphany, and welcome to the show. All the way from Rwanda, we are excited to see the beautiful background in, I think it's Kigali. So welcome to the Kenyan space
Yeah,
on the
it's
virtual
Kigali.
space. So very nice to meet you
Okay.
as well.
I can see
And
you in Nairobi. Yeah.
yeah, welcome, welcome. And the next person I want to
Right.
introduce herself is Jemima Kutata, all the way from Mombasa County. People commonly refer to her as Miss President, so I hope she'll tell us why. And then she can also introduce herself and tell us what she does. So over to you, Jemima. Jemima, can you hear us? We can't hear you. I think we don't have a very good sound from Jemima. Can you hear her? Epiphany?
No, I can't.
Okay,
Maybe
so
Thank
she's
let's
you.
not speaking.
My name is
okay, let's go to Winfred, and then we are going to come back to Jemima. Winfred, can you kindly introduce yourself from Nairobi County, which is the capital city of Kenya? Yeah, so welcome,
Thank you,
Winfred,
Rachel.
and please.
My name is
Yeah.
Jemima Kutata, Miss President Mombasa County. Champion inclusion and disability rights. And the resource mobilizer at the Association for the Physically Disabled.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Winfred, can you actually introduce yourself, and then we are going to come back to Jemima because we can't hear your sound, Jemima, clearly. Maybe you can try to leave and join again. There's a problem with your sound. Yeah, but meanwhile, Winfred, could you introduce yourself and tell us what you do? Winfred, please unmute your mic, Winfred. Yeah, there.
Okay, a very warm evening to everyone. My name is Winfred Asiko. In the Sauti Kenya Program, Nairobi cohort, but I come from Kakamega County. I am a youth activist. I am
We
also
can't hear her.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, now we are getting you.
Okay, a very warm evening to everyone. My name is Winfred Asiko Abuti. I am in the Sauti Kenya Program, Nairobi cohort, but I come from Kakamega County. I am a youth activist. I am a politician. Also, I am a political analyst. I am focused on steering the youth agenda. I have done that on several media stations, that is NTV, KTN, and others. Also, I am an entrepreneur. I train models at my own free time. That is voluntary, because I have been a model before. I was the Miss Corporate World Kenya Kakamega County 2014, 2015. I am so glad to be part of this show, and as a woman in politics, I am excited that I am going to hear from my fellow women, and equally, we are going to speak to the world. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes.
hear you.
Okay, so sorry for that technical hitch, guys. Winfred, you can hear me clearly now? This is technology, and sometimes technology can be tricky. Yeah. All right, so we are going to get back, and I'm sure we've lost a bit of our participants. When they come back, we are going to continue. But mainly, the show today is going to be actually taking us through the journeys of these women, what they've been doing in their space to help equal landscape and help increase the access for women into political leadership in their countries. And we are going to start with you, Winfred. Winfred, I would just like to ask you the first question. What inspired you, to start your political journey? I know you vied for a political position in the past. And so what was that inspiration that you had that steered you towards wanting to vie for an elective post? So over to you, Winfred. Okay, so maybe I can't also hear Winfred. Can you guys hear me? Epiphany, can you hear me? You seem to have the
Yes, I
best
can
network.
hear. Yeah.
Okay, so tell us, what's the inspiration that you had that inspired you to actually be able to get into the world of politics? To
Wait,
want to participate as a woman. Yeah.
come on, repeat the question.
I'm saying, what inspired you to want to get into politics as a woman in leadership? Yes.
Thank you. That's a good question. For me, as a young woman who grew up in a country that faced a tragic history, which is a genocide against the Tutsi, and when you go back in the history, young people were on front line, whereas they were encouraged by the bad governance to commit the genocide, and on the other hand, you will see that the people who stopped the genocide were young people as well, were young women and men who took the initiative, who who promised themselves that we need to stop this genocide and liberate this country from bad leadership. So, as a young woman, this made me feel I have to give my full contribution toward this nation, where government give us different platforms to including like Itolelo and Youth Frontier. So, and as a young person who need to have a contribution in leadership, I help the others to change their mindset so that they can also be able to uh, to 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 be very active so that they can able to defend their countries. So as here in Rwanda, we have a problem where many people, those who participated in the genocide against the Tutsi, uh, there is a huge challenge where young politicians, because there are many people who want to change, who don't want to change their mindset. So some choose to be reluctant and refuse to change, which put people at great risk of feeling hopeless and failing building the country. So as a young leader myself, I tried to mobilize. I tried to mobilize the community clearly, explaining the history of our history by focusing on the youth, to uproot all the genocide ideologies and taking the model from the heroes, being resilient and keeping youth head up to the common good of people, and also helps them to overcome those barriers. So I think that's the only one thing, as young people from this country that has experienced that tragic history, they should be able to be responsible to protect their countries in different platforms. Thank you.
Thank you. And it's good that you've raised that issue of the genocide, which is something other African countries really need to learn from. In Kenya specifically, we've had post-election violence every time there's election, and now we are looking towards the year 2022, and it's going to be the same thing. We've been stepping back for a long time. We had the Constitution of Kenya granting us a two-third gender rule, which was never implemented for the last term, and so you see that the progress in bringing women into leadership and all that is facing a lot of enemies around the world, basically, even in developed nations, even like Germany, UK, and all that. And so it's encouraging to see women being willing and courageous enough to go ahead and fight against odds and be able to go into politics. So I want to take my next question to Jemima. And Jemima, I just want you to tell us from your side, as a woman living with disability, a woman with disability, be that I am trying to correct myself all the times, and being a role model for many young people in this country. You've been courageous enough. I remember one time we were doing a program somewhere, and you told us, if there's no accessibility for people living with disability, I'm not coming tomorrow. So how are you able to actually interject your inspiration from fighting for the rights of people with disabilities and getting into leadership, and also being a woman? That's too much on one person, but I just wanted to hear, how do you balance, and what has inspired you so far, because I know you want also to vie for an elective post even in the next elections. So over to you, Jemima. Jemima? Oh, Jemima, we can't hear you. Jemima, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Okay, so maybe as we wait for Jemima, Winfred, can you tell us what's your inspiration? You vied for the MCA seat in the previous election. So what inspired you to vie for this elective post, Winfred?
Okay, thank you so much, Rachel. I just wanted to say, when you look like a country like Kenya, it is a third world country, and you find that most of the youth in this country are unemployed. So unemployment is a disease that is really eating our society, especially here in Kenya. And this is because most of the youth are not in leadership positions. You find that you can find a person who's 90 years and they have been elected in a docket that is supposed to be for the youth. And also you'll find that some jobs that are supposed to be given to the youth, they are given to old people. So as a youth activist, I got into politics because I want to be an example to my fellow youth. I want to encourage them to come out of the periphery, come claim their leadership positions, because if they will be in these leadership spaces, they will be able to be part of policy formulation, and they will also be able to create jobs for their fellow youth. So me joining politics is just to encourage my fellow youth to come out of the periphery and claim their leadership spaces. Because in the past revolutionary acts, like when you look at Martin Luther King Jr. and when you look at Malcolm X or Patrice Lumumba, the first prime minister of DRC Congo, you find that these were the youth. So if the youth in this country and in this world could come out categorically and state that they want to be part of leadership spaces, they will actually achieve it. So this is why I joined into politics, to just be a wake-up call to my fellow youth, and also to encourage them to come out of the periphery and be part of these leadership positions. Thank you.
Thank you, Winfred. And I have a follow-up question. So, actually, Winfred is part of the Sauti Kenya Program participants in Nairobi. Congratulations, Winnie, for having been picked among so many women to join the program. And secondly, I wanted to do a follow-up question with you and ask you, so how was it the first time you told your family, your friends, you told them that I want to vie for this political seat? How was it for you?
Okay, there are some friends that would encourage you to vie. I have so many people, so many friends who are so supportive. But when you look at someone like my mother, she actually doesn't love politics. So she's always telling me, you are going to hurt yourself in this field. So the best thing to do is you leave it.
Thank you,
because
Rachel.
You're still young.
As a woman with disability, it has been a challenge, because as we know, all women... You can't hear me, eh?
Yes, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Let Winfred finish, and then I'm going to give you an opportunity as you fix your mic. You can try it leaving and coming back.
Yes.
Jemima, try disconnecting.
Can you hear me now?
Back. Okay, continue. Yeah.
What is wrong?
Winnie, continue.
Okay. So it becomes so hard. Like when my mother says, you're still so young, you're supposed to leave politics because you have to get a bit older for you to join politics. But I have so many friends who have my back. I also have a few family members who have my back. And this gives me the strength to go on and do my best, because I believe if you want something in life, you go for it. You don't just sit back and wait. If you want anything in life, you go for it. And this is what is propelling me to be in this field. It has made me to be very strong. I've become so strong politically. Like even I have some of my opponents who are going ahead to hack my accounts, my social media accounts, 1 month ago, all my social media accounts were hacked. It is because I have become so strong, so persistent, so resilient, despite the fact that not everyone is supporting me, but the zeal that is in me is the one that is making me stronger. Thank you.
Thank you. And back to you, Epiphany. I wanted to know, like, what has been the reception? Because I've seen you've been working on a Pan-African level. So what has been the reception of you, first of all, being a young woman and influencing at the level of EAC, at the level of, the African Union and in your country? How is the reception in Rwanda towards women vying for political positions? How is that like?
Thank you. Today here in Rwanda, like especially for the government, is very, very proactive and understand why the women should play a big role in the in the leadership. Like for example, in Rwanda, more than 60% of women are presented. We are being presented about 60% in the parliament, which is a good example, because they say when you empower women, you empower and you empower a whole nation. That means that, that when you empower the women, you are contributing to something big, and so. Uh, Here in Rwanda, they have tried their best. After as I said, we had experienced that tragic history, but they have tried to engage women in taking all of those high levels decisions. So, um, example when. Or when, like for example, let me focus on economic status, because I believe when the women are financially empowered, in addition to their is a greater addition to their political empowerment. Women's economic empowerment favorize can enable can make them to be able to 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 awake their abilities to participate equally in existing markets, their access and control the over the productive resources, and access to other decent works. So for me, I do really understand in Rwanda, we do understand why women should always be in those first places in their leadership, because we have real examples. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and we've seen Rwanda being one of the countries that has actually embraced women in leadership, even from the cabinet level. And you have a very beautiful
Yeah,
daughter
sure.
of president that is very popular here in Kenya. The guys, they say they're very tall and beautiful. So yes, that's very encouraging to hear. And so I want to come back to you, Winnie. And the question I have for you is that yes, we've seen many women say that they want to be given an opportunity to lead, but when you actually give these women an opportunity to lead, actually you don't see so much difference. So what makes you special as Winfred, and what have you done, to set your path straight so that you can get into full blown politics and be able to bring positive impact in your community? Winfred?
Thank you so much, Rachel. First of all, we're living in a patriarchal society where women are believed that they are less powerful, or they don't need to be associated in politics. So it is because of also the male chauvinism, the economic barriers, and everything that the women are purported to be, or the social patriarchal society has put them to be. So this stereotype makes most women shy away from politics, you'll find that even when one woman vies, you'll find that most of the people that are being elected are men compared to the women. So the women have been stereotyped in a way that makes them less powerful or less advantaged to join politics. But we have these beautiful women, like when you look at Cleopatra, she was a queen in England before the present leaders that are there. She was a woman that was really focused, and she wanted to get whatever she wanted at whatever cost. So if I look at such kind of women, I get motivated to be part of politics and also to work my way up. I have been part of so many activities that have supported the youth in my community. I have done capacity building programs to educate my fellow youth on the importance of leadership. I've also done capacity building programs to like in my county, Kakamega. You'll find that the pregnancy, the young teens, they are getting pregnant at an early age. So I have been at the forefront for advocating for them, like to abstain from sex, and also the youth to abstain from drug abuse. So I have been persistent with the youth, and I have been quite on the limelight to make sure that they are doing the correct thing at the right time. So I have had pad drives where we are distributing pads to the women that are less advanced, and to young women that are less advantaged in the society. We have also supported people in my community. For example, you'll find that I have been involved in fund drives for building churches and many other things. So as a woman, I believe I have made some milestones. I have done some community work, and I'm still doing so much. For example, I have Mr. and Miss Kakamega that will be done in January, and it is in the pipeline. We have Winfreda Siko Golden Cup. So this this is a football competition for all the people in the 12 sub-counties of Kakamega. So as a young woman, I believe I am working hard. I am doing something. I am not just seated. I am actually doing something. So if I get elected into the elective position, I believe I will be in a good position to formulate policies that will bring change to my society. And also I will be able to come up with activities and programs and initiatives that will help people in my county. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you. Isn't that amazing? All the things that you're doing, even in entrepreneurship, in education. Indeed, you're a phenomenal woman, Winfred, and we look forward to learning about, we'll be listening very shortly to your story about how did you how did you experience go for political seats. We'll be coming back to you on that, and we want to hear your real experience. Did you get a nomination? Did you actually buy and lose? What are some of the challenges that you faced? We are going to come back to that story shortly. Jemima, I believe you're back with us now. Can you hear us? And please unmute your mic, Jemima. And then let's see whether we can hear you. We'd love to hear from you. Jemima, are you able to speak to us? Your mic is muted. You need to unmute it. Okay, so I think as Jemima fixes her mic, I wanted to ask you, Seraphine, a very important question on policy. So do you think that the African governments and even the regional, organizations like EAC have put in proper measures in their governance structures to facilitate for women, for us to have more women, joining into the political movement? Because as it is, we have women making the highest population in the world. More than half of the world's population is the women. But then when it comes to making decisions, for the majority of the population is excluded from that. So in terms of policy, what do you think we can do better at the AU level, at the East African community level, to further give the women a better platform, also have a chance to sit on the table? What are your views on that, Epiphany?
Come on, repeat the question.
Okay. So Epiphany, I was saying, you see, at a policy level, you've worked with the EAC, you've worked with regional governments, and at a policy level, what would be a governance structure that African governments would adapt to ensure that they're giving more women opportunities? And you can give us even examples of Rwanda giving women more opportunities to vie for these political positions and empowering them to vie for these.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
For me, what maybe on the ES level and on the governmental levels, what should be done to make sure that women are being given the equal opportunities as men as well, is to they have to change the mindset and think that women are able to do what men can do, and if they can change that mindset, I think nothing can stop them to create those equal opportunities to the women.
Yes,
I think they, all they want to do is to change the mindset and adopt that women are able in this century to do what men can do.
and what are some of the progressive barriers you faced as a woman in politics in Rwanda, for example? What are some of the barriers you face every day as you're trying to rise up in the ladder of political leadership in Rwanda? Yeah.
As a young woman, sometimes as Winifred said, when people are seeing you and joining politics or any other kind of leadership, they start gossiping that how this young person will sit on that high tables and bring her ideas, and so that kind of undermining people of the age because of her or his ages, that's the first challenge I have ever experienced. And and it is still a very big challenge to the young people who want to join leadership.
Yes. Okay. And maybe Winfred, you can jump into that and tell us what are some of the barriers you faced in your journey towards, rising up the ladder in political leadership in Kenya?
Wow. I can tell you that the political space is pretty murky, especially when I talked about the patriarchal society, how this society treats women, especially young women. And then we have what we call the male chauvinism. We have the economic barriers. Most women are not financially stable, so they have to really work so hard for them to get resources for them to be in politics, because politics is so involving. You need money for campaigns, you need money for branding, you need money to give to the electorate, because people just wake up in the morning and they are at you. Oh, Mweshmiwa, I need some money for food. I need some money for upkeep. It becomes so tough. So that is an economic barrier. And then we have sexual violence. That's sexism. Women are being viewed as individuals that are not supposed to be in politics. Their place is not politics, but the household. That one I have really faced here in Kenya. And then we have the social perception from people that if you really have to make it, that you have to give favors, especially sexual favors, to the man in these spaces. So this is really a big problem, because some women and some young women who would love to join politics, they will be very hesitant, because they would think, or they are thinking, that for them to make it, to come to rise their political level, they have to give favors, including sexual favors, which is very wrong. And then I have faced an issue of security, social security, also social media security. You don't have social media security. People get information about you. They take it to media. They take pictures of you of the past. They take it to the media. They start abusing you. They tell you, oh, you're not looking good, you're looking small. Such kind of issues are arising, especially when you are in this political space. And then an issue of beliefs and norms. Most people believe that young women, or women, especially in some communities, those in the villages, they believe that women are not supposed to be part of politics, or they are not to involve in themselves in politics. So these social norms and beliefs are a big hindrance, because you'll find that instead of them voting for you, they'll vote for someone else, because they believe, as a young woman or as a woman, you are not supposed to be in politics. And then gender, the male chauvinism part, where men believe, oh, this is their space, they're supposed to dominate, and you're not supposed to say anything. So this is a real hindrance to me in politics, and these are some of the challenges that I've faced. I've also seen my friends facing the same challenges. For example, there's this media personality called Nyasuguta. This lady there's a time she went for a fundraiser in a church in 2017 in Mbakasi East, which is a constituency in Kenya. And it was very wrong from the goons of the other candidate, who even hit her so much. He had to quit politics. So this is violence, physical violence against women in politics. There's another woman who was addressed in Kasarani. She was vying for a member of parliament position. This is very wrong. This is violence against women in politics. So this political journey is not easy. As a woman, and especially when you are young, you really have to have a strong heart. You really have to have you really have to be a woman of steel, because if you become so, you have this heart that gives up so easily, you will give up on the first day. So politics is very challenging, not only to women in Africa or women in Kenya, but to women in the whole world, because we have seen even some being assassinated, some being raped. Yeah, those are some of the challenges that I have faced. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you. And indeed, we have so many barriers in even business sector, civil society, that confront women who want to go into leadership position. So I'm learning a lot, because this is about you telling your story. So I'm just the moderator here, trying to get as much information so that the other women who are joining us on this broadcast can also learn from your experiences and what you've actually been able to achieve in politics. And so I just want to take this opportunity to thank the people who've just tuned into this chat. I'm seeing you, Maslin Nyambaso. Thank you very much for joining in. You're saying you really admire Rwanda leadership. Women are so included. So thank you, Epiphany, for being here. So thank you very much for that comment. And Seraphine, you're saying the more women are in leadership, the more come on board to break the barriers. Yes, we have a lot of challenges, but this should not stop us from going for what we really believe in as women. And that's a very good point again. Maslin, thank you so much for all these insights. I hope everybody who is on this chat is also going the comment section to just read all these wonderful comments that we are having. Like, for instance, Maslin is also saying that in politics, publicity is publicity, both negative and positive. So you just choose how to write in it. Yeah, that's true. Again, publicity is everything in politics. And I'm hoping that, there are even some men watching us today, and they're learning that, there's some women who are really never going to be discouraged from pursuing leadership. I've been pursuing leadership for the last 13 years, working on a Pan-African level, and I'm only going to go higher, but I'm going higher in the civil society sector, in the film industry sector, and my colleagues here are going higher in politics. I have to salute you ladies because, you know, it takes an iron lady to go and vie for politics. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about a little thing about finances. You've mentioned this a bit, Winfred, but I want to take it to Epiphany. How are politics in Rwanda when it comes to, do you need a lot of money to vie for politics as a woman? And how do you go about it, like getting these positions that you've gotten, like for instance in the EAC? Was it easy for you? Did you just apply and you got it, or was it a battle? And how do men react when they see that you've gotten some opportunities? You know, Epiphany, how have men reacted when you get these opportunities to work for the EAC or other organizations that you're working for, and you become a leader? So how have men reacted in this journey? How have also your fellow women reacted? And, you know, basically, was it easy for you to get there? Or what's your story? Yeah, basically, yeah.
As I said, I was appointed as East Africa Community Youth Ambassador in Rwanda in 2019. But all we can say, we should point our fingers on all men that we say that they all undermine us, because men out there, some of them, they appreciate what we have achieved so far. I in 2019 I got a link for application when the Yuri Desamti were looking for ambassadors in these countries of EAC, and then of course they accepted my applications from here in Rwanda, from many more application here in Rwanda, because women, we need to know that we have to be competitive as much as we can, so that we can convince those people who think that we are not able to do what they think. We have to show them that we are able. So, as a young leader who has been URID ambassador in Rwanda and East Africa, in East Africa Youth Legislative Assembly, it's really an educational journey since 2019. Then, after my application was accepted, I remember in 2019 I went to the summit in Tanzania, which was an experience to me, because I was heading many people, many youth in Rwanda. I think we were there. We were like 20 people or more who were there from Rwanda. So that means it was a big responsibility to me, but I tried to make it possible so that I can serve as much as I can. So um, financially, they are the ones who offered me a flight ticket and the list of the others. But financial instability is still a big mess to those young people who want to become politicians. But all they want to do is to believe in themselves, to believe in their capabilities. I think financial will come right after, but the first we need to have, as young women that want to be politicians, we have to believe in ourselves and believe our capabilities. So let me give you an example. Like in Rwanda, as I told you, they really understand the laws of empowering women to be financially stable, because some of women are the CEOs of the big companies in Rwanda and other institutions, which means that to that the things that empower them to be self-reliant and financial stable. Like in Rwanda, we have what called homegrown solution, where we initiated what we call made in Rwanda. Now, so far, we have the things that we cannot import from, or I mean, export from the outside, because we are able to make them for ourselves. So, and in that initiative, women out there, they are playing a big role. As I said, the many of them, they are the CEOs of those companies. So I think uh, when you believe in yourselves and you be innovative, I think there is nothing that can stop you, as much as you know what you want in life.
Yes, and I agree with you. That's a very insightful piece of information. And I want to save time and go quickly to Winnie. Winnie, tell us your story. We stopped at your story where, you were joining politics in 2017. I think you ran for an office. And we want to know what happened. Did you manage to get the elected post? And if not, what's your strategy to make sure we nail this and get it back home, here where it belongs, on 2022, now that we are 1 year to the election year? So how are we as women strategizing in our politics so that we make sure we are sitting on the table? Over to you, Winfred.
Thank you, Rachel. First of all, I want to say women are making milestones in these leadership positions. For example, you can see we are going to have a first Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya as a woman. That is Lady Justice Martha Koome. So women are really making
Yes.
milestones, and I believe this is something that we really wanted and something that we have worked hard for. There's a time we really wanted women to be in school, and it was very impossible. So we appreciate the activists, the movements, those people that have supported the girl child and women to excel in education so that they can be able to be part of leadership positions. So I believe even in 2017, whatever happened will not happen again in 2022. I vied for member of county assembly, Kilimani Ward, Dagoretti North constituency in Nairobi County. What the issue was on the issues of nominations, I was not able to get nomination certificate from Jubilee. This is because my other opponent had to rig me out. This happened when because that time I was very young. I was only 22. Yeah, I was very young, 23, 22. I was just around that age. I was very young. I didn't understand the dynamics of politics. I didn't know that people rig elections. I didn't know that people bribe voters. Voter bribery, it is very rampant in Kenyan politics. I didn't know so much about politics. But I am grateful to some Kenyan leaders, for example, Senator Sakaja. I was able to get on the gender top-up list. That was position 8. But the problem arose when there's another list that was made by another person, who, contrary to the first one that had been made, and I was position 36 on the third list that was submitted to the IBC. So if this first list was submitted to IBC, the one that I was position 8, probably or definitely I will have been at the County Assembly of Nairobi. But I did not give up. I created some social capital to do business, to work, to do so many things. Right now, I know so many people. I have learned a lot. And I believe in 2022, I am going to climb the ladder and just clinch the seat because I believe so much in myself. I'm not those kind of people that are pushovers. I am the kind of people that really go for something when they really want it and they work hard to get it. So I believe in 2022, I am going to be elected as the first young woman representative of Kakamega County. I will overthrow the other old people. This is not because they are old. No, it is because they have led us for quite some time. And I believe that it is the time for the youth to take up leadership spaces. And I will mobilize my fellow youth for us to get this position. And I am also going to mobilize the other old people to also support us, because without them we cannot get the votes. So we need everyone's vote on board. So this is going to be an easy task for me, because I began last year very early, compared to the other to 2017, where I began an election, where I began campaigning just 6 months to elections. But at least this time around, I began like 2 years, 2 years and some months to the election. So I believe this is a win for me. And if there's anything that is going to hinder me, nothing. Actually, I'm going to get this.
Amazing, and we are going to actually be behind you. You're going to tell us how you want us to support, and if you're here and you're a voter in Kakamega County, please, take note that there is a woman of substance in Kakamega County who needs your votes come 2022, and you can see that she has her strategies. She's all systems go, and thank you, Winfred, for sharing that vision with us. And I wanted to come back to you quickly, Epiphany, and just ask you, what's next for you? What's next for you now that you've been to the EAC, you've been to ELA and all this. So what's next for you in your journey in politics? What should we expect to see from you in the next couple of years? Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good question. And I still believe in myself that I'm able to do the things that people can't expect from me. So if people believe in me, maybe I can participate as in 2023. I think we have parliamentarians election. So why not? If I have those who are able to vote me, I will be able to participate in that election, because I believe in myself, and I believe I have something to contribute to my country, to the society, for it to get the uh, I'm stuck how I can say, but if they are, I believe in myself, and I'm able to participate in whichever activities of the government to contribute to the communities as much as I can.
And quickly, we're going to start with you, Epiphany, then we are going to go to Winfred. What things will you do if you get elected? In 2023, you'll get elected. If you get elected, what is it that you want to be, that solution that you want to give the people of Rwanda if you get elected?
Yeah, of course. I can Rwanda is like a country that was born yesterday, because we faced that tragic history. All of the beauty that we are seeing was done in 27 years ago. So as a young people, and who see what's happening here, yes, we still have a lot of problems, but there are some problems that were solved. So I think there is empowering youth to become financially stable by creating their own jobs, instead of after graduating the universities to sit and wait. Maybe there is someone who we call her. So the other thing that I will do, it's just empowering young women, that because we need them on the national level. And there is one thing that I forgot to say. Women are presented in all levels, from low level to the national level. So I think the empowering women will be also my key aspect to empower them to be able to in leadership, so that you never know, they can lead at national level, at regional level, at continental level. just to wake up the sleeping giants in them, so that they can feel that they are able to do well, to do everything. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Thank you very much. Winifred, what will you do if you get elected? Yes?
Can you hear me?
Winifred, Winifred, I'm saying, what will you do if you get elected to be a member of County Assembly in Kakamega County in 2022? What will you do differently, and what do you aim to change in your community?
Okay, first of all, can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes.
First of all, I want to say the Constitution of Kenya, Chapter 1, it's so clear on the sovereignty of the people and the supremacy of the Constitution. So I want to say, if the people shall give me the power, because power belongs to the people, first of all, I will represent women whom the Constitution recognizes as a marginalized group. That is, I will look at the interests of women and girls. Number two, I will sponsor and engage bills, motions, resolutions, and notices that will redress any disadvantage suffered by women and girls because of past or present discrimination in the county. I will also receive and act on petitions from the public on matters that relate to discrimination of women and girls. I will also mobilize residents in my county to identify projects that will benefit both women and girls and even the boys in my county. I will also influence the national government to be able to put the projects that my county will be involved in especially to be implemented in the county. I will also ensure now that girls are being empowered and they are actually rising. I will make sure that we also come up with the boy child empowerment, because the boy has actually been forgotten. So we will make sure that the boy child is equally empowered in the community, represent, sponsor and engage in bills, and then receive and act on petitions, and then mobilize residents in the county on coming up with projects that can benefit them. Also, as a woman, I will support. I will have supportive programs for those disadvantaged girls, for example, about education. Those who are not able to access education, we will have programs that will sponsor that. Those who wish to do business, we will also ensure that they get business loans. I will also initiate a capacity building program in the county, because if you can see, like in Kakamega County, statistics say that most of the money that comes from the national government to do projects for women and the youth, it goes back to the national government. So I will ensure that I finance capacity building programs, just the way World Bank is doing in my county, to ensure that women and the youth get to learn about these youth enterprise funds, the women enterprise funds that are available, AGPO, and many other opportunities that are there for both women and the youth. I will also make sure that I reconcile where the other leaders have torn us apart, because politics is not just about selfishness, it is about reconciliation, bringing people together and being able to have a cohesive society. Thank you.
Thank you. I want us to play a quick game, because we are finishing, and I want the people who are watching us to learn some lessons from your journeys. And so I just want us to make a quick round, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say one lesson that I've learned in my life about political leadership for women, and then Epiphany, you're going to say one lesson, and Winfred, you're going to say another lesson. You're going to go for 2 rounds and just share quick lessons that we've learned in our journey in leadership. One of the lessons that I've learned in leadership is that I have to be strong as a woman, and I have to keep persisting, and I have to work more than 1000% harder. to achieve my goals. That's one lesson that I've learned. What's one lesson that you've learned, Epiphany, in your journey in leadership?
What I have learned from the journey in leadership is just to believe in yourself and confidence, of course, and to be committed, because in this journey, you, that's an advice to the young women that want to join leadership out there. They will meet with the people that undermine them and telling them that they are not able to serve the people. But all they have to do is to be committed. When you are committed, no one will come and tell you something and then you give up. So all you want is to be committed on what you are doing because you know what you're doing. So I think the confidence about believing yourself and being committed on what you are doing, that's the two advice that I should give anyone, especially young women who want to join leadership or politics. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Winfred, one lesson?
I have learned that if you think you can, or if you think you can't, you're actually right. So whatever you do, just do believe in yourself, have a positive mental image, and always work hard every day to get what you want in life. You can't get something by just sitting down. You have to do something. If you don't do anything, you won't get anything. That is what I have learned.
Another round. I'm just going to add one thing. One of my favorite books that I've ever read is The Outlier. And that is where there's an analogy that you have to work for 9,000 hours and above to be able to be good at something that you do. And that just goes to insist on the fact that what Winfred just said right now, that you need to work hard for the goals that you want to achieve, and also you can't take shortcuts. You can't take shortcuts, so it takes time to build a legacy. And if you want to be a leader, start from where you are. Community, society, and from public management. So wherever you are, you can start leading wherever you are and keep going. And maybe you can find yourself at the top leadership in the government in your country. One last lesson from you, Epiphany, and you can give your closing statement, as well as Winfred. After Epiphany, you can also say something and give your closing statement. And as you give your closing statement, please kindly give an advice to that woman who's there, who needs, to hear something good. Maybe she's pursuing her goals and all that. What's that one word you can tell her? Also, Winfred, do the same. And I can see there are some connections here. There's some people already expressing the interest to work together. I've seen Madam Winfred, Ashri Natifa is saying, Madam Winfred, I have a CBO in Kakamega County that is run by the youth for the youths. I can see in your manifesto, you have so much for the youths and girls. Can we maybe work together? And she's shared her email. So that's good. And Seraphine, you're saying, at Winfred, bravo. And yeah, we're here to make sure you get that seat as we win in other fields. Thank you. Salma Sophia, you're saying, wow, inspiring. Thank you. Caroline Danny, you're saying, wow, I love the confidence and self-belief in here. Interesting. Women power. Women are the change that we need. So over to you, Epiphany, to give your lesson and your parting shot. And thank you so much for being here. Yes, so Epiphany.
Thank you very much, and I want to address this advice to the young people out there. They want to leave their comfort zone and go and test themselves to achieve their aspirations. But for them to achieve those aspirations, they must be committed, have confidence, and be ready to defend for themselves. If you are not ready to defend for yourself, you will not make it. But I wish them to make it because they know what they want. And as they say in Rwanda, as a youth, the government tells, a special president Kagame tells that young people, you have the future of this country in your hands. Of course, yes, because we are the next generation to take over this country, to you know to to take the. But can Winifrey mute the mic? Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So if so for young women or women in general, they must think that they are the only ones who can be empowered for the country to be empowered, to be financially stable. Yeah, we want many more women on the table, on those high tables to where the decisions are made. So you can't get there if we're not committed, if we don't believe in yourselves, that your idea, your opinions matter.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Epiphany, and thank you for joining into this conversation. We really appreciate the insight. We've not had enough time with you,
Thank you.
so we'll welcome you back again. I think I need to invite these politicians back to this panel again. I had so many questions, and I barely asked a quarter of the questions, and you guys have really given us very good content. So I'm looking forward to keep learning from you and keep encouraging other leaders. And so over to you, Winfred. Please give us the cutting shots. Tell us what you want to say to the other people that tuned into this conversation.
Okay, what I've
Winfred?
learned about, yes, what I have learned about
Yes.
women in politics, I want just to tell you that sexuality or sexual violence should not be a hindrance for you to get what you want to do in politics. Like if someone is attacking us because of how you look, or how beautiful you are, or how you're just made by God, let it not make you feel sad, because that is has become so normal. Sexual violence in politics is something that I have really come to live with, especially here in Kenya. And then as a young woman, I just want to talk to my fellow young women that indeed this country needs revolutionary acts that will come from you people. I want you people to be so many in the Senate. I want to see so many of you in the county assemblies. I want to see many of young people in the National Assembly. It will be good if we are having a speaker who's a young woman. It will be very quite encouraging if we also have minority leaders and others that are in these houses for women. And also, as young people, we have so many dockets and jobs for us to get in this country. So the only way we can get is by working hard, coming out of the periphery and speaking in one voice. You know, when you come together, you can do so many things. But when you're alone, you can't do much. Someone said, if you want to walk so far, you walk with people, but if you want to walk so fast, you walk alone. So we can really walk so fast and do so many things as young people in this country, young people in Africa, and even young people in the world. I was so happy and excited for Bobby Wine, who just vied for presidency the other day. That was an encouragement to young people, that it was a wake-up call to young people that we should come out, work so hard, get something. It is not just sitting on the periphery and just waiting. The political class, they have categorically stated what they want for themselves. What about us? Don't just be stone throwers. Don't just be errand boys and errand girls. Don't be bloggers. Your work, let it not just be blogging for these politicians and abusing other politicians. No. It is a wake-up call for young people to come out of the periphery and claim for their leadership spaces. So if there's any person out there listening, I just want to encourage you. I want to motivate you. You can be what you want. Actually, it is not easy, especially in this country where we are having an economic crisis. And actually, the economic crisis, I think it is in the whole world, because COVID-19 has hit the whole world. but it is but when you cultivate optimism in your heart, they say that success is moving from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. So you don't have to lose the enthusiasm within you. You just have to keep pushing, keep working hard. It doesn't matter what you're going through. Maybe you're coming from from a background that is really making you feel demeaned, or you have financial problems. What you need to do is just step out, do something, even if you don't have a job, get to do some business. We have these youth funds that are available in the counties. Get into groups, as youth, and be able to go ask for this money. It is your money, it is allocated for you. Get to learn about AGPO. Don't just sit back and wait for peanuts and wait for 527 or 227 from politicians. No, be the change that you want to be. I saw, like, in the BBI we have the BBI is talking about the youth commission. How about if we will have, as the youth, if we were speaking in one voice and said we want this youth commission to be very strong in this country and even have positions in the whole sub-counties. But because we are so quiet, waiting for people to make policies for us, this is why we are lagging behind as young people. So as young people, step up and speak out. Thank you so much. My name is Winfred Asiko Abuti. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. When you give a politician an opportunity to pitch, they really pitch. So that was a really good pitch, Winfred. And thank you so much for encouraging all of us and inspiring all of us. So I just want to quickly say thank you to our panelists and thank you to our audience who joined us on this chat. And I'm also a very beautiful, confident woman in leadership, and I want to encourage each and every person who's here that we are not going to stop, because our voice has to be heard. People have to know our ambition, and I want to just conclude this show by saying the online space has given us an opportunity for self-publishing. Like right now, we are just hosting ourselves on an online space, talking about our views and getting our views to people. So I'm hoping that we can all take advantage of these new platforms that are coming. We young people have more knowledge of this technology than the older generation. That's one way to beat them. We can campaign through these platforms. We can raise a lot of messaging, and we don't need to wait until the election time then start complaining, because we have new tools that are working for us. So with that said and done, I just want to say that we'll be having this show weekly, discussing different topics. So I'm hoping to see you next week on Friday with other panelists, other guests, another topic. Will be,
So, guys,
basically
I'm leaving you.
women in leadership. So
It's
we'll
going to
basically be
rain.
celebrating. Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes.
me? So yeah, so we'll just basically be celebrating women in leadership, in civil society, in business, and all that. So with that said, I will ciao, and we look Friday same time. Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.